James Garfield was chosen as the US's 20th president in 1881, after 9 terms in the U.S. Place of Delegates. His administration was significant, yet cut off following 200 days when he was killed. As the remainder of the Log Lodge presidents, James Garfield went after political defilement and won back for the administration a proportion of glory it had lost during the Recreation time frame. He was brought into the world in Cuyahoga Region, Ohio, in 1831. Bastard at 2. He later drove channel boat groups, some way or another bringing in sufficient cash for training. He was moved on from Williams School in Massachusetts in 1856, and he got back toward the Western Hold Mixed Establishment, later Hiram School, in Ohio as a works of art teacher. In no less than a year he was made its leader. Garfield was chosen for the Ohio Senate in 1859 as a conservative. During the severance emergency, he pushed pressuring the withdrawing states once more into the association. In 1862, when association military triumphs had been not many, he effectively drove a detachment at Center Rivulet, Kentucky, against Confederate soldiers. At 31, Garfield turned into a brigadier general, after 2 years a significant general of volunteers. Meanwhile, in 1862, Ohioans chose him for Congress. President Lincoln convinced him to leave his bonus. It was more straightforward to track down significant officers than to acquire compelling conservatives for Congress. Garfield more than once won reappointment for quite some time, and turned into the main conservative in the House. At the 1880 conservative show, Garfield neglected to make the official designation for his companion John Sherman. At last, on the 36th polling form, Garfield himself turned into the surprisingly strong candidate. By an edge of just 10,000 well-known votes, Garfield crushed the popularity-based chosen one, again Winfield Scott Hancock. As president, Garfield fortified government authority over the New York Customs House, fortress of Congressperson Roscoe Conkling, who was head of the sturdy conservatives and distributor of support in New York. At the point when Garfield submitted to the Senate a rundown of arrangements including large numbers of Conkling's companions, he named Conkling's most outstanding opponent William H. Robertson to run the Traditions House. Conkling challenged the designation, attempted to convince the Senate to hinder it, and engaged the Conservative Assembly to urge its withdrawal. In any case, Garfield wouldn't present. This will settle the inquiry whether the President is enrolling agent of the Senate or the leader of the US. Will the chief port of passage be heavily influenced by the organization or under the nearby control of a factional senator? Conkling moved to have the Senate affirm Garfield's uncontested selections and dismiss without following up on Robertson. Garfield countered by pulling out all selections aside from Robertson's. The representatives would need to affirm him or penance every one of the arrangements of Conkling's companions. In a last-ditch move, Conkling and his individual congressperson from New York surrendered, certain that their governing body would justify their stand and reappoint them. All things being equal, the council chose 2 different men. The Senate affirmed Robertson. Garfield's triumph was finished. In international concerns, Garfield's Secretary of State welcomed all American republics to a gathering to meet in Washington in 1882. In any case, the meeting never occurred. On July 2, 1881, in a Washington railroad station, an upset lawyer who had looked for a consular post shot the president. Mortally injured, Garfield lay in the White House for quite a long time. Alexander Graham Chime, creator of the phone, tried and, tragically, failed to find the shot with an enlistment balance electrical gadget which he had planned. On September 6, Garfield was taken to the New Jersey shoreline. For a couple of days he was by all accounts recovering, yet on September 19, 1881, he passed on from a disease and inside discharge.